right, so for this tune, it's standard tuning, apart from the fact that you down tune 2 strings. The 6th string goes down to C, and the 5th string goes down to G. And the rest of the strings are in standard tuning, so you've got... Is it open strings? My thickest string there is a little bit out of tune because when I put the capo on, I have to sort of retune the guitar a little bit. So you need a capo then on the 6th fret, and here's what the tuning should sound like on your guitar. All right, so I guess one of the most important things with this tune is to get the thumb picking kind of ingrained in your brain, because no matter what is happening with the fingers, the thumb is always kind of most of the time it's doing something like this. Left hand, if you want to like fret the 1st fret's B string, and I'll refer, this is the 1st fret with the capo on, so I'll refer to the frets as if that's 1, 2, 3, etc. So on the 1st fret B string with your 1st finger and then your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret D string. Okay, you've got that nice sounding chord there, don't know what it's called. And with your thumb, I would just start off practicing doing something like that. And just kind of imagine the tune in your head, you know. You've got to really kind of get it ingrained in your brain that your thumb is always doing that, always throughout the tune. Maybe not necessarily those strings, so, you know, on the next part it's just doing. But if you imagine the beat is going like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you imagine like a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, then your thumb is on every single one of them. It's on the 1 and it's on the and the 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You know, it's harder. It's probably easier not to actually count aloud. But yeah, so I'd just, you know, I just sort of stress that you need to kind of ingrain that in your mind, but when you're playing. Okay, so let's actually look at how it starts off the tune. It's the same chords that I've already shown you. So what you're doing is, okay, so you're playing the 6th string with your thumb, and then your thumb is playing the D string, and your 2nd finger on your right hand is playing the B string, as you can see. Alright, so you got, and then the thumb on the A string. So all that together. Then what you do is you take the fingers off on the left hand, just slightly, and then you play the D and the B strings again, and hammer on. So you're hammering on 2 strings there, hammering back onto that chord shape. you got and then the thumb on the 6th string again then. So let's run all that together. Okay. Let me think now. Okay, so yeah, it's right what I've shown you so far, and then after that, thumb on the thickest 6th string. After that, you've got playing the G string with the 1st finger on your right hand. So string it all together. Obviously I'm playing it slowed down. And then after that you've got your little finger, add your little finger here on the 3rd fret, 1st string. And then, yeah, after that G string, with the 1st finger, you play the A string with your thumb and the thinnest E string with your 3rd finger. So string all that together. Then bring your 2nd finger in on the B string, and then the 1st finger on the G string again, together with the thumb on the D string. Okay. Might want to take a break, pause the lesson, see how much of that you can remember. It's the kind of thing that seems awkward for a good while, you kind of can't catch the groove of it, or your thumb's doing the right thing, but you're concentrating on your thumb and you mess your fingers up, or you start thinking about your fingers and you start messing your thumb up. It's not too good to get too involved in actually thinking about what you're doing, but when you're learning it, you have to sort of consciously think, okay, it's this string, but just keep practicing, and eventually it'll all kind of gel together. And it's the sort of thing, once you've nailed it, once you've got the finger picking, it's like riding a bike, you never forget it, it's there for good, but it takes a while until it all kind of clicks. So you got okay, that's a summary of what I've shown you so far. Do it again. Oops, sorry, messed it up there. Start again. No, it's like this. So it's the D string and the E string together. So I showed you wrong actually. It's the when you come down, like when you come to that G string, you play the A string. So you got Alright, so there's a bit of a correction there. You've got thumb, so thumb, and then the D string and the B string. A, D string and B string again with the hammer on. And then the finger that I showed you correctly up to that point. So when you come to this bit, you've got the thumb on the D string and the third finger on the thinnest D string. And you come down with the second finger on the B string, so. And when you come to the G string, you pluck the A string together with your thumb. So put all that together. Then you come in with this finger again, the third finger on the thinnest D string. So. So after that, again, after the second time, you go. After this, the A string and the G string, the first finger, we got. You got this, and then you got the. When you're on the second. When you're on the B string with your second finger, you play the D string with your thumb. And then the first finger on the G again. So to put it all together. Oops. And you'll notice that in that pattern, you notice the thumb is always going. So you've got to be mindful of that. If you want to, after that initial, you can mute it off with your palm if you want. Or actually not with your palm, you can mute it by, after you play here on the left hand, you pluck those notes and then you kind of release the pressure. You don't actually take your fingers off the strings, but you just release the pressure there to kill it. It's more like a press. When you pluck with your right hand, you just kind of press with your left hand. Something like that. Or you can let it ring if you want. It's down to your personal taste, I suppose. I tend to make it sort of mute it off instead of. Alright, so that's the first bit. Might want to pause the lesson, have a, get that mastered. As I say, it is fiddly. If you're not used to this kind of finger picking, it takes a while for it to sort of gel in your head. All right, so let's move on. So after that, you go back into, but you're changing chords. What you're doing is going from there, from that position, slide this second finger up to the third fret on the D string, and bring this third finger in on the B string on the third fret. So you got this chord. Alright, so you got. Then you got. No, sorry, I told you wrong. After. You got. You do the same thing, you start off here on the E string. What I do is pluck the D string with my thumb and the B string with my second finger. So pluck with the thumb and second finger on the D and B string, and then pull off with your left hand. Okay, so you got then the A string. So thumb on the A string, and then second finger on the G string. Like that. So summarise the whole lot so far. Then go to that shape that I showed you a moment ago. Second finger, D string, 3rd fret, 3rd finger, B string, 3rd fret. So, and then you pluck the B string, the D string with your thumb and the B string with your 3rd finger. So you go. So string the whole lot together. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I was actually playing the song there. Okay, and after that, you go back to that original shape. So after that, you go back to the original shape, as I said, and you bring your thumb in on the thickest E string and your 3rd finger on the B string. So again. And after that, you're doing the same thing again. So you go in, after you go back to here, you go in. Basically, it's maybe easier if I explain it like with your fingers. You go in after you go back to that position. You all you're doing with your fingers is going. Well, you add in the little finger obviously on the left hand, so you go. So dun, 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 dun. That's what you're doing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So imagine you're just playing it without the thumb. You go dun, dun, dun. So it's going dun 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 dun. So what you got to remember to do is to kind of keep the thumb going at the same time. But I found it helped to kind of play along with the track, just doing the fingers and then just doing the thumb. But so after here, so you got here D string, then the B, plucking the D string with the thumb. Where I am now in the song is this point. After there, yeah. So thumb on the D string and 3rd finger on the thinnest D string. So 3rd finger E string, 2nd finger B string, then thumb on the A string, 1st finger G string. Then 3rd finger on the thinnest D string again. So dun 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 dun. Then these two, A and G, and then these two, D and B, as before. So run through the whole lot ultra slowly. Sorry, start again. Okay, and then the next bit, go to this shape, second finger, third fret, D string, third finger, B string, third fret. And all your thumb is doing here is going, so the same kind of alternating pattern, but instead of involving 3 strings, it just involves 2. And you got, so your thumb is doing this, and your fingers are going like this. So 3, 2, 1, E, B, G. So it may help you to sort of practice the parts separately before trying to integrate them, you know, maybe, I don't know. So you got the E and the A together, and then pluck these 2 together. So then this one, this C string. So we got, and then again A and B. So then the G string. So it's that sort of pattern. Thumb is going like that. And thumb is going like that all the time, and your fingers are doing this all the time. So you got, and then after that, thinnest D string, you go back to the original shape. Back to the original shape, and then you pluck in the thickest E and the B. When you go back to the original shape, you can play like this. So you pluck like that, second finger, G string, then thumb on the E. Then you go back to that other shape, and when you go to it, you pluck upwards with your third finger on the B string. Also, yeah, so. And then from that position, you slide it up. So because you've just plucked the D string with your thumb, the D string is already ringing. So when you slide up into that shape, the D string has got some momentum behind it, and it's still ringing out, you know. So you got. Something like that. You're not actually plucking the D string, but you still get that. You still get that note coming out. because it's already been plucked in the just before, you know. All right, and then you take that shape and you slide it up 2 frets. And when you hit that slide, when you hit that 1, 2, 3, 5th fret, you need to hit the A string with your thumb. So you go. Bit fiddly, you know, but again, it'll all come together with practice. Then you go, after you've slid up, you go back to that shape we had before. So. Plucking with the D and the B strings, thumb and 3rd finger. And then you go back to the original shape, bring your little finger in as before, and then you play the thickest E string with your thumb and the B string with your 3rd finger. Like that. So yeah, the thumb on the thickest E string, and the 3rd finger on the B string. So, and then the second, so thumb, 3rd finger, 2nd finger G string, and then the thumb on the D string. So like that. Then 3rd finger on the right hand, an upstroke on whilst fingering, you know, that little finger on the left hand. So you got all that little run together. And then the thumb on the A string again. So. After the A, you pluck the D and B strings together. And you'll notice, you know, you get lost in all the detail of doing this, but remember it's quite simple in the sense that your thumb is always going. But it's just remembering to, it's bringing in the fingers at the same time that makes it a bit awkward, you know. So, okay, so that completes the first kind of, you know, segment that makes up the song, you know, this one. Okay, so, you know, might take you a while to puzzle through that. It took me like about a month to nail this, you know, so don't get, you know, frustrated, just keep at it. Again, like I say, you know, you just got to keep remembering that your thumb is always going like that. And it might help, as I say, to sort of practice going as one exercise, and another exercise just go. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those separate exercises might help, you know, just to get used to doing that, and then you can start, you know. playing the song there, I'm just doing a little exercise. If you bring those two together then, that'll get you into the feel of the song, you know. Alright, so we've completed the first segment. The next bit goes up to again the same thumb pattern. What you're doing, you bar across on this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th fret, just before the 12th fret, the actual 12th fret on the guitar, you know. But as I say, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're barring from the D string down. So, but also you're bringing your little finger here and barring across 2 strings, right? The thinnest E and the B, and again, you know, the thumb is doing the same thing. But what's happening here, you got, so barring here, you got your little finger down there on the E and B strings. Thumb, I'll just take my other fingers out of the way so you can see what my right hand's doing. Thumb here on the thickest D string, then D with the thumb and thinnest E string with your second finger. So like this. Okay, so you got, and then the A string. So you got, actually, what you're doing, what you need to do, right? Start again with this one. You need to sort of, you don't need to bar all these strings actually with this first finger. Just holding down the D is enough. Well, the D and G, the D and G strings. What you need to kind of do is to have this shape going on when you start off. So your first finger's on the 5th fret on the D and barring the D and G strings only. They're the only strings you have to worry about, because the B and E strings are covered here. If you put your second finger on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th, 6th fret B string and the 7th fret top E with the 3rd finger, and then bring the little finger in here, the reason is you're going to pull off with that little finger. So you're going to pull off, and if you've got these 2 fingers in place, then yeah, so you bar the put the little finger on there, and then so you're playing the thickest D string with your thumb, and then your thumb comes in and your second finger comes in on the thinnest D string. So, and then after you've plucked this, you pull off with your little finger. So to put the whole thing together. So. No, it's like this. You play like this. Forget these 2 fingers, but you're barring the G and the G here, so you got, and then the A string, and then after the A string, after the A string, I use my 2nd and 3rd fingers. I pull the little finger off on the left hand, go to that position I've shown you, like that. So it's, that's how it goes. So you got, take the finger off and use the 2 fingers there. So you don't actually need the 2 fingers yet. Play the A and then put the 2 fingers in and pull the little finger off at the same time. So. After that, you've got the D again. Because remember, the thumb's going the whole time. So you go. And then you bring in the first finger on the G string then. So you got. Then the first finger on the G. And then you got one of those. And then after that, you put the little finger back, barring the E and B strings, and then you're going into that. So again, it's the same pattern we've had before. It's that your thumb's doing that, and your fingers are going like this. So you got. Alright, so play it again slowly. Alright, again, a bit fiddly, but comes together with practice. So. So again. After that ends on the B, and then it starts again. So you got. Sorry, start again. Sorry, start again. After that, the pattern repeats again. Sorry. What's happening now is a good point actually. I'm actually thinking too hard about playing it, and that's something you shouldn't really sort of. It can lead to mistakes, you know, when you start thinking too much intellectually about what's it. It's better to sort of try to kind of get into a kind of flow where you sort of disengage your brain in a way and just sort of kind of get into a groove with it. But you need to practice it to a certain level till you can get there. But obviously I haven't quite got there myself. So yeah, it ends on that, and then it goes again. So that's the end of one, and then it starts again. And it goes around in a loop then, so when you put it all together, it's Alright, so that's that bit is kind of like what I think of as a second segment that in the song that you need to learn. So and then it ends on that B string. The segment ends on that B string, and then once you've done how many, 2, there's 3 of those, and then it goes into another segment then, which is like this. Basically, you got your second finger on the 2nd fret A string, 3rd finger on the 2nd fret D string, like that, and the 1st finger is on the 1st fret. What's happening here? You got so A, the thumb, and then the D and B strings with the thumb and second finger. Yeah, and then you just sort of pull off. No, you play. It's actually thumb and third finger. So you go, and you mute it by killing it with your left hand. Just not actually pulling your fingers off the strings. They're still making contact with the strings, but you're not actually pushing them against a fretboard. So you go like that, and then bring your little finger here on the 4th fret, and with your thumb, play it with your thumb. So just like that. And then after that thumbed note, you just use your second, third fingers. You can just use one finger, the third finger, to play the B string, perhaps catch the G string as well. So you go. So. And then after that, you got. You've got the thumb on the D string, so okay. After that, you go back to this. Yeah, remember that. When you put your little finger there, you take these other fingers away. So you're playing the open D. And then you've got, you go to this shape, which is the same as the first one, just with the third finger taken away. And you play the A and B strings with your thumb and third finger. Then your G string with your second finger, and then the thumb on the D string, and then your third finger, you put your little finger on your left hand on the 3rd fret B string, and you just give that note a pluck with your third finger on the right hand. So okay. And then you use the thumb on the A string, open. Then your second finger on the G string. And then your thumb on the D and your third finger on the B. And you pluck them and hammer on. So run all that together. You got. So that's what I think of as the kind of 3rd segment in the song. So and after that hammer on, you launch back into the original piece segment that we started off with. Alright, so those are the 3 segments. Hopefully I've explained them I've explained them as clearly as I can. And then all you need to do is to hook them all together to form the song. Okay, so now that we've covered all the segments that make up the tune, I'll just explain the song structure. Segment 1, you play that goes 4 times. So you got that's 1. Gets repeated. Gets repeated again. On this 3rd time it gets repeated when the singing comes in. I'll start from the beginning of that 3rd segment. Let me in. Then it gets repeated again for the 4th time. Made me see where I've been. Go into the 2nd segment. There's 3 of them, then into this. So we're back into the 1st segment, which is played twice. Then back into the 2nd segment. And then back into the 1st segment because you don't know what it means to win. It means to win. Come on down and see me again. Back into the 2nd segment. Can't talk and play at the same time. And on this time, it goes back to the 1st segment, and this time it ends. So. When it comes to this, the slide bit, it slows down a bit, so it goes. And then it ends just by your thumb. But don't catch that top E string. And then to cap it off nicely, you can just run your fingers down all the strings in. And cut it dead then with your fingers on your left hand. So the ending part would go, I'll play the final segment. Okay, so that's it. Hope you found that lesson useful. See you with more lessons in the future. Thank you.